everybody. Today I'm bringing you a DIY build for a fingerboard frame. Okay, I've been noticing obviously a lot of people are spending a lot of time at home, and it's kind of hard with the gym situation. We never know if they're going to open or close, when the next lockdown is coming, when new regulations are going to be passed. So it's kind of hard to plan our training regimen accordingly. It's hard to maintain conditioning and strength, especially finger strength. And so I've come up with this plan. This is good for especially people who don't have a lot of space at home. I've made this especially small, shall we say. Minimal height, minimal width, minimal material use, minimal tool use, and as effective as possible for the low budget we're going to have. This is good for people also who want to just keep their finger strength up, and people who want to get into climbing training or just want to get better pull-ups. Okay, so let's take a look at it.
Here's a template of the design. On our left, we have a side view of the fingerboard frame. On our right, we have a front view. It's going to be 180 centimeters tall, and all of the pieces that you see here are going to be cut from our initial 5 2.4 meter boards that we're going to buy. If you want to make any changes to the design, make it taller, make it wider, make the wood thicker, you're going to have to figure out all of these components by yourself. Not only these, but also the materials that I'm going to show you in the next slide. If you need this for future reference, you can pause the video now, take some notes, or take a screenshot of the slide. I'll be moving on to our material list. Here's a quick list of everything we're going to use. I'm not going to go into this. I put a basic price estimate. Obviously, if you want to change the design, or if you live anywhere that's not the UK, the price is going to change. Again, if you need, pause, take a screenshot, take some notes.
These are the tools and materials that you're absolutely going to need, bare minimum, to make this design that I made and I'm showing you. If you want to make changes, you're going to have to figure out the lengths of wood, the amount of wood, the amount of bolts, the amount of screws that you're going to use. Okay, and it's quite a fun process. It's fun to figure it out by yourself. The only power tool used is a drill. Everything else, cutting the wood, screwing the bolts, screwing the screws, I did everything by hand except by drilling the holes. I even carved the holes by hand with a pocket knife and some sandpaper. So you absolutely can do everything by hand. If you want to buy a hand drill, even that you can do. Okay, but power tools are going to make your life so much easier, and it's going to be so much faster, but you don't have to. If you're going to want to go old school, that's your choice. Let's take a look at it. Now let's take a look at the construction of the 3 different parts of our project.
First thing we're going to do is take 4 of our 5 2.4 meter long boards, and we're going to cut them at the 182 centimeter mark. This is important. Don't make mistakes here, and don't cut all of the boards, just 4 of them. We're going to end up with 4 182 centimeter long boards like so, and 4 58 centimeter long boards like so. Our 5th and final long board we're going to cut into 3 equal 80 centimeter pieces like the picture indicates here. and we're gonna use all of the pieces we just cut, so don't make mistakes. Measure twice, cut once. Next, the bottom frame. Our bottom frame is an H-shaped frame. We're gonna use 3 pieces to do this, and we're gonna use 4 long wood screws, 2 on each side, to mount everything together. The sides of the H are 80 centimeters long, and the middle shaft of the H is 58 centimeters long, like indicated in the picture here. The screws are going to be inserted in the sides, like the blue circles indicate here. Make pilot holes before you screw everything in so you don't crack the wood, like so. If you want extra stability for the bottom frame, you can add 2 extra pieces of wood here, or indeed you can also add 2 steel rods there. It's going to make it even more stable. In my case, I just left the H plain and it had plenty of stability. You don't need to do that if you don't want to. Next, let's take a look at the legs of our frame. The legs of our frame are 182 centimeters long, and they're going to have a slight inclination to articulate with the bottom frame and the top frame, making a trapezius like so. The whole thing is going to end up having 180 centimeters in height. The legs are going to be drilled in 6 different places to articulate with the 2 frames. We're going to make 4 holes at the top, 2 on each leg. And we're going to make 2 holes at the bottom, 1 on each leg, like the picture indicates here. I recommend you do this later after you have everything lined up so you don't make any mistakes and end up with a crooked structure. Next, let's take a look at the top frame. The top frame is similar to the bottom frame, but the legs of the H are much shorter. The top part of the frame has 25 centimeter long legs, and the bottom part of the top frame has 26 centimeter long legs, like is indicated in the template at the start of the video. We're going to screw them together with our long screws just as we did the bottom frame, and drill holes for the bolts so you can articulate with the legs. The completed top frame is going to be essentially one stacked on top of the other, the top one being a little bit smaller than the bottom one, like the picture indicates here. It's important that you pay attention to this now. One of the 60 centimeter piece that we have left over and one of the 58 centimeter piece we have left over is going to be cut up to make the small legs of the H for the top frames. Okay, this is not indicated in the beginning template, but you have to do that.
It's time to assemble everything. Remember, mark everything out before you drill the holes. Double check everything before you assemble. If something is crooked or twisted, it's going to be really hard to assemble it and to make it work afterwards. So double check everything before you assemble. Let's do this.
Here's the final product, everything assembled. One thing you have to pay attention when assembling is that you have to screw the top and bottom frames in on the inside of the legs. This is very important for all the measures to work out. You can actually screw them on the outside of the legs, but you have gonna be left with very little space in between the legs to work on your fingerboard. So pay attention to these 4 spots right here. Bottom frame and top frame screwed on the inside. While assembling, if you want to check for straightness, you can tie a string on the top frame and let it hang with a heavy object on the tip of it, like some keys in my case, for example. And the line should line up both the top frame shaft and the bottom frame shaft perfectly, so you know everything is in line. After you've assembled everything, we're gonna mend the top frame. We're gonna use our steel menders. You can put these anywhere you want, as long as they connect the 2 parts of the frame together. We're gonna use 4 of those. I put them here so it can have more space left to assemble my holes, but you can put them anywhere.
Okay people, so this section is for those of you who want to build your own holes out of the wood you have left, or if you want to buy something and carve your own holes and mount them up on your frame. This is for you. I'm going to show you what I did to have a quick, effective finger strength workout. What I mounted up is nothing fancy, it's just the basics. Okay, let's go. On this side, I've got a larger hole. It's 1 finger pad long. I can do some pull-ups and still a little bit challenging for me. This one is a half finger pad long and it's very challenging for me. It's for pure finger strength. On this side, we have a sloper. It's not a big inclination, but it's enough to get some finger strength going. And we have a pinch. Notice that most of my holes, I put 3 holes in each one of them. Better safe than sorry. There you go people, finished product. Should hold my weight just fine. About 72 kilograms right now. Just fine. Finger holds can also hold my weight. It's not too fancy, but it's very effective. Heavy building, heavy training.